and the pilot or the skippers on the ride were actually with him. He just like rode it like 5,000 times and got the best jokes out of the whole thing and just said, I'm gonna use these. So
that's like my nightmare.
Welcome back to Eye2Eye, the place where we talk about anything and everything Disney. My name is Kyle.
And my name is Jessica. And before we get started tonight, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss any of our content.
It's time for another spoiler-free movie review. This time we're going to be talking about
Jungle Cruise.
And 3 reasons to watch, including one that you may not want to watch, a reason that may not be good to you, something like that. It was kind of what we try to always include in there. Also, rewatchability factor. In all of this, how likely are we to rewatch it? All that's fair game here on this channel. And what do you think you want to talk about first? Or what's your first reason you want to talk about?
I mean, obviously the cast.
The cast.
So we've seen 800,000 trailers for this movie because it was supposed to come out originally, 5 years ago?
The sad part about it is she's not wrong.
I mean, honestly. So we all know that Emily Blunt and The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, are our primary characters.
Do you feel like you have to say Dwayne Johnson after The Rock every time now?
I feel like everybody says Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I think you can just say The Rock and we all know exactly what they're talking about.
I mean, okay, fine.
I'm just saying, like, is there anybody else who's known as The Rock out there?
I'm going to start going by The Rock. You know, I've got these rocking hard arms.
You are hard-headed, so there is that. You could go with that. But I think you're right. Emily Blunt and The Rock killed it in this role.
They really did. And to be fair, we all know and love them. These are not celebrities that are like filled with scandals or, you know, really polarizing. They're just lovable people in general.
You got the like action guru guy these days. Like he's in every action movie that's ever existed now, but basically.
Comedic action movies.
And then Emily Blunt, who's just in like all the good things. Like, is there really a movie that she's been in that hasn't at least done somewhat well?
I mean, that's true. I'm still like holding on to those Devil Wears Prada vibes, so...
And she was a villain in that one, kind of.
And she was a fantastic villain.
Which shows how good of an actress she is. They're like, I guess you call it chemistry, is really good in this.
Yeah.
They play off each other very well. And I think it's, you know, obviously the relationship develops throughout the movie. We won't go into how, like, where that goes and all that stuff, because that would be spoiler territory, so we're not going to do that. But I think they did a really good job kind of balancing comedy, other aspects of the relationship, and just bringing it all together for just a well-rounded performance. Reason number 2 that we have obviously would be in relation to the ride that the movie references. It's just like Pirates of the Caribbean. The ride influenced the movie influenced the ride. Well, not yet. Maybe we'll get... Do you want to see a little Dwayne The Rock Johnson animatronic out there?
No.
Why not?
No.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be terrifying. But I did love when he did the typical, you know, and we saw in the trailer, of course.
These are things we talk about are things from the trailers. We won't address anything that we spoil the territory.
But when he goes, you know, the 8th wonder of the world, the backside of water. And this one guy's like taking pictures like, oh yeah.
And he's like, take the picture, sir. Take the picture. Take the picture.
Yes. So, I mean, I did. It was very hokey and just like the ride, you know, there's the fake hippo and all the hokey stuff.
I don't want to say too much about the hippo situation because that's a little bit spoiler territory. But what I like that they did is they took the hokey nature of the ride and even made fun of it even more.
Oh, for sure.
In the movie. And I think that's what makes this so well. Because I think that's what you have to do for a ride like Jungle Cruise. Because everybody knows it's kind of stupid. But you still want to go on it because you just kind of
because you're going to have a good time.
Because you want to be part of it.
Let's be honest. It is hokey. It is dumb.
Yep.
But it is so much fun every time you go on it.
The other cool thing, and I know this is not like something that's really big for you, but for me, being a big like trivia buff and all that kind of stuff, there's the Adventurers Society. You can kind of see some references of that in relation to the Jungle Cruise ride. And now in the movie, there's a lot of like names that are dropped and things that are mentioned. Makes me wonder what the future might hold for The Rock, Emily Blunt, and maybe a franchise. I'm just throwing it out there. I wouldn't be opposed to it. That's our second reason. Reason number 3.
Obviously, the dad jokes.
Yes. That's kind of how we already talked about it a little bit, but you got to bring it up.
We mentioned it, of course, but just like in the trailers, there are tons of dad jokes. You know, it's hokey, It's hokey like the ride, I guess.
Did it almost get overboard for you? You see what I did there? It's a dad joke. I didn't even try to do that and that happened.
There was a moment when Emily Blunt's character was starting to make the dad jokes. And I was like, it's too far. It is too far.
That is, like, she didn't do a lot of them, but she did like one or two. And I was like, okay.
It's too much.
It's just let The Rock do it. And it, like, if that's his character, he's the skipper or Skippy.
That was funny.
A little teaser of a spoiler there for you on some of the little bit of their relationship. But the dad jokes are throughout it. Obviously, heavy in the beginning when they're first introducing the
like the first 20 minutes of the movie, it's just dad joke, dad joke, dad joke. That's hard to say 3 times. Dad joke, dad joke, dad joke.
I wonder if they sat with a cast member or a crew of cast members and like asked them, okay, I want you, or he rode the ride a couple times with them and said, I want you to give me your full spiel. I'm going to sit in the back.
Wouldn't that be like the writer's job?
Well, no, they say in the ride that they get to create their own stuff within a certain script.
Right. But wouldn't the writer want to sit with them, not the Rock?
I guess so. But like, I'm just saying, like, if he rode on the ride and the pilot or the skippers on the ride were actually with him, he just like rode it like 5,000 times and got the best jokes out of the whole thing and just said, I'm going to use these. So
that's like my nightmare.
Fear not. If you love dad jokes and if you love the Jungle Cruise skipper jokes, they are aplenty, and there are plenty of familiar ones in there that will make your heart just go either or aw like
that's
that.
True.
It's really good stuff. Like, I utilized it well, almost a smidge too much, but I think they did it justice.
Yeah.
All right, rewatchability factor for Jungle Cruise. How would you rate this?
What about our one reason not to watch it?
Oh, we almost forgot about that. Yes, one reason not to watch it. What would yours be?
The plot holes.
It's a little bit of plot holes.
There's a lot of plot holes, and we haven't used the term plot holes since one of the last Star Wars movies.
Which one was that?
I can't remember, but we talked a lot about plot holes. The very last Star Wars movie that came out.
Oh, yeah. The one where I chose to ignore all of them. Everybody got mad at me.
Yeah, everybody was like real upset, and you and I liked it, and I don't even remember the name of it.
Well, I liked it a lot more than you did, and people were like, you're just ignoring the plot holes. I'm like, because I just was having a good time.
These, I felt like I couldn't even ignore because I was just really confused on some things.
Yeah.
So, it's still a good time, don't get me wrong, but if you're really looking for a good story, this might be a little confusing.
It's not so bad that it takes you out of the movie for me, but like you find yourself like, wait, why are they doing that now if this was the case? And there are some times that you can tell that they kind of chop some scenes together.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish that hadn't happened, because those are one or two times a little bit jarring where you notice that it's kind of choppy. Mm-hmm. So I think, unfortunately, this movie's going to suffer from the time delay that it had. People are going to expect it to just deliver now, and they're not going to be as forgiving as some of those things because you've been waiting for this. It's like, it better be perfect. When who knows what they've had to go through just to get this thing onto film. All right, rewatchability factor. How likely do we watch it on a scale of 1 to 5? 5 being the best.
I'm going to give it a 2.
Not shocked at that.
Not something, honestly, I would not recommend seeing in theaters. If it's on Disney Plus, I don't know if that's a thing, but I recommend watching it in the comfort of your home, or maybe not at all. This is not something I look forward to watching again. I just didn't love it. The only thing that I really loved was that first 30 minutes with all those dad jokes and, getting to see the characters to begin with. But probably wouldn't give it a watch again.
I would say a 3, which kind of falls in the way I always like to explain a 3 is I'm not going to go seek out to watch it again. But if somewhere we're able to go, hey, you want to go see Jungle Cruise with me? I'd be like, oh, okay. If I didn't have anything else to do, I probably would. But if I had other things, I probably would find a reason to skip out on it. Here's why I would say I could be convinced to go watch it again.
To maybe figure out the plot holes that we missed?
To catch on more Easter eggs, because I'm sure there are more that we missed on there to things back to the Jungle Cruise. I think if you're going to have a rewatchability factor for this movie, that's your ticket in that.
That's fair.
Because when you do rewatch it, those plot holes are going to be a little bit more evident in all of it. Those are our thoughts and our reasons to watch, reasons that you may not like it, and the rating for this movie. We want to hear from you now. Have you watched it? Share with us down in the comments section below what you thought about it in a spoiler-free manner, please, because we want to keep it safe for everybody else who hasn't seen it yet. We hope that even if you don't like the way we rated it, that you'll still go watch it and give it a chance and tell us what you think about it eventually. But what else should they do?
If you haven't already, like I said, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss anything.
And if you want to check out some more movie reviews, we do trailer reviews as well. Here on this channel, we'll have a playlist available for you in the description, but also up above in the video right now. Until we assemble again,
May the Force be with you.
and we'll see you real soon.
Bye.